going up, but I heard like a lot of things are changing. I didn't have any specifics right now. About this thing.
The biggest change is the 2020 catalog year that will start on the spring of 2020.
Okay.
We open up a few more options for you. That's really the biggest change. If you roll forward to the 2020 catalog, you have another operating systems class to take.
Okay.
Instead of a communications class.
Okay, and if I already took the communications class, I wouldn't have to worry about that one first. Or it would just be like a.
If you've already taken it, stay on the catalog year that you're on. You're fine.
Okay.
It really doesn't make too much difference for you.
Okay.
That's why they do catalog year, so that when you come, you don't have to worry about changing stuff all the time.
Okay.
And that's kind of our contract with you, is that when you come and we put you on catalog year, we agree that we'll teach the classes that you need for the next basically 7 years in some form or another. So if you look at like any of the classes that we're offering right now, you can, if we stop teaching them or we change catalog numbers or stuff like that, we'll still teach out those classes online at least for several years. Yep. So even though things change, you can plan.
Okay. That's what I figured, but I just wanted to be sure. That's fine.
Now, if you want to become aware of what some of those changes are, and you decide that you want some and others, usually we can work out a way to make that happen. Do you like that Rocketbook?
I love it.
Yeah. I've been tempted to try it out, but I haven't done it yet.
I haven't cleaned it yet, but
okay.
It's really nice if you like. I really like it because like lots of times I've done homework and it's like I don't know where I have that, and I was like, wait, it's in my Google Drive, and then I have a PDF version of my notes.
That's awesome.
So it was funny because I spoke to my little sister about it because she loves like taking notes and then having it saved somewhere, and she didn't like. I had just randomly saw this one time, and she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get it. I'm like, you're not gonna need it till after your mission, but she's like, it'd be nice to like for, at least this is what her thought was, is like for like exams, just print out your notes and then just study your notes instead of having to like look through your notes and try to find where it all is. And I like it because it brings it down to now I have one booklet to then having 6 binders. So I can throw out a lot of binders now. I like it because at the bottom, each semester I can set it up where it's set up to my classes.
Mm-hmm.
So then when then on the bottom it has the symbols. So then I just X off the symbol.
Oh, nice.
And then in the app that it has, it'll auto send to that folder within your Google Drive.
Interesting.
So I love it. But I had some, I guess, things that I was thinking of, but more in, I guess, deeper thought. You were talking to me yesterday about the quality metrics.
Metrics?
Yeah, metrics, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And I kind of like was like wanting to like look more into that so I can then, I guess, measure the quality of work.
Okay.
Where would I be able to find that? Or find things on that? Because I went like online and Googled some things and I couldn't really like find specifically.
Well, there's a lot of ideas out there on how to do this. This is what I've made available. What I've done here is I've just tracked different evaluation methods that students have used and found helpful.
Okay.
There's at least I don't put anything on here until I've had at least 2 different students try it. or that I've had some recommendation in more than one setting that makes me think, okay, this is a good one to try. So this is linked from the course syllabus. And it's right in there under it's right under the grading section.
Oh, okay. I was looking in the wrong section. I was like, somewhere in here, and I can't find it. Where would it be under? You said under grades?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go up there some same spot there. So we go under the syllabus.
Oh. I'm just thinking wrong. That's what it was. I'm thinking wrong.
So quality time, communication expectations, aka how does grading work?
Okay.
There's a link right there, CCIT 3
Yep,
evaluation methods. And I put those out there as brainstorming material.
Okay.
Anything to try. I encourage you to try out more than one, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. You can test them out and then kind of mix and match the ideas until you come up with something that works for you. That's why I tell people I dare you to be done with the class by midterm, because if you'll actually try to do this by midterm, then you have the rest of the semester to fine tune it and get it actually functional to where both you and I are happy with it.
Okay.
I kind of cut that off after Thanksgiving. You don't have enough time to tweak it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing you're starting now, because you're kind of short on time to make sure you do a good job.
Yes.
But it's still possible. I find that good habits usually develop. They say that it take at least a month to kind of sink in and settle in. So that's about what we have left, is just under a month at this point. Have you heard of any of these? Do you want me to run you through some overview or pros and cons on any of them?
I've.
Any of them sound intriguing to you? Okay. So what happens with that one is it's one of the more commonly used ones because time is a great equalizer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you have to deal with time on every project. Seems like very few projects don't have some kind of time sensitivity to them. So all this one is it's similar to what I did in a graduate school program that I was in. I was hired as kind of a research assistant, and I had a 20-hour-a-week time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really open-ended thing. It was our lead faculty basically just left it open to us. He's like, you guys tell me what you want to work on. And he said, I see it as my job to make sure you guys have what you need to succeed. Mm-hmm. So if you'll pitch or propose what you want to spend your research time on, and I'll make sure you have support resources and materials and models and ideas that will help you succeed. So, but the expectation was we had to track that time and show what it was that we spent that time on. And as we did that, I started to learn really fast just how easy it is to waste time.
Okay.
But how important it is to have that mind shift of how to invest your time wisely. Because if you start to track it and look back at it, and you become accountable for that time, That's kind of what it naturally does to us. Most of us start to realize, oh, I can do better. I can do better than that. You know, I kind of, that thing that took me that long, it shouldn't have taken me that long. I bet I can do better the next time. And so that's really all this is. It's a sample time log just showing the date, the number of hours spent, and the activity. You know, what I spent that time on. And then this over here gives you just kind of an evaluation rubric or a grading system to check that against.
Okay.
So this one's showing that based on this example so far, they had spent a little over 5 hours for the week, a little over 5 hours on the PACE grade, puts you at about a C minus. Because I'm basing this on the statement that 2 hours for every hour in class, you should be spending 2 hours outside of class. That sets up an expectation. Actually, here they state it this way. They say the average student spending 2 hours outside for every 1 hour inside should expect about a B plus. So that's kind of a guideline that I use to build this rubric around, or this grading system around. So this is just a time indicator based on the quantity of time.
Okay.
It's not necessarily quality yet, but it's on the right track. It's getting you closer to a quality system. The quality of it comes in when you start to evaluate, how am I learning? What am I spending my time on, and what is it producing? Then you can start to compare like productivity measures with your time, and as you work through that kind of approach, it's a qualitative feedback pattern now that's leading you to understand quality in your work and quality in your investment of time.
That makes sense.
Okay. I find if you jump to numbers too fast, sometimes the quality gets eroded. If you focus on just the numbers and what the numbers say here, you may or may not get the quality out of it.
Okay.
But if you combine
the quality is relating to like the quality of work, or like just in general.
Yeah, this is where engineers get into the terms quality versus grade.
Okay.
And when they say grade, they're not talking an academic grade. They're talking about the grade of materials or the grade of the grade of a mechanical process, something like that. It has to do with the robustness of it.
Okay, so like the grade, kind of like level.
The gradation is a better way to
say
it. But what's the gradation of this? Is it low grade or is it high grade? So the quality part usually has to do with attributes, characteristics, properties, those kinds of things. That's qualitative. The gradation is another component in quality management, high versus low grade. Once you understand what all those different qualities or characteristics are, it's kind of the question of to what level or to what degree. So as you work through these processes, you find those fundamentals as key elements. You got the characteristics, properties, attributes. You got the level or degree to which you're achieving them, and then you've got some method to try and capture and define what is. Where am I at on that gradation scale, and what might it take to get to the next level on that gradation scale. Those are all patterns that you'll see pretty fast when you start to work with any kind of quality management system or any kind of quality evaluation pattern. Okay. So this is where I think time tracking is a good one to start with. It's fairly easy to start out with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun. It's kind of painstaking,
mm-hmm.
but it's something that we can all relate to because there's already time scales that have already been defined and that we're all familiar with. All these other methods start to get into more the qualities and characteristics and attributes and properties and those kinds of questions. And then once you get there, you'd start to define the leveling, the gradation of what's any better than anything else. Why? Why is one thing any better than anything else?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So usually I encourage you to try 2 or 3 of them. You got any other ones that you want talk to you about in 5 minutes because I've got to be in class in 5 minutes?
Let's see. One that sparked my interest was the PM character traits scale.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, huh? I actually just renamed that because that's not how I saw it. How I saw it originally was I had a student that was applying to grad school, and they sent me this evaluation in this format and said, please evaluate the student on this scale. And I went, perfect. That's another great example I can use in class. So I tried it with a couple of students, and they're like, yeah, this is really useful. What we find, the reason why it's so useful is that I don't know anybody that's a 5 on all these things.
Okay.
It gives you definitions in a way that you can almost always see where am I at and where can I go from here to get better.
Okay.
That's awesome.
It's like a goal setting.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Helps you see levels, and it gets people out of the mindset of, well, I think I get 100% because I want one, or I think I need an A because I think highly of myself, so I think I deserve an A. See, this is starting to help us see levels in each of these different attributes. And then you start to have a quality management system if it's taking you somewhere. You don't really have quality management happening if all you do is look at everything and say, oh, it's great, I'm good, see ya. Yeah. That's not moving anyone anywhere. It's not improving quality. It's more flattery, looking back and wanting to flatter yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't find flattery very helpful most of the time.
Definitely work on this.
I'd encourage you to not. A lot of students want to look at this and just do a self-assessment, and that's fine. You can evaluate yourself, but I think it becomes more powerful if you'll try to cross-check or cross-validate that by handing this to other people that know you well, and let them evaluate you as well, and then talk about the differences and where I thought I was, where you thought I was, and why.
Okay.
That becomes a very informative practice where you can kind of see things a little bit more clearly when you cross-check.
That's interesting. Okay. I don't think I have another one right now. I mean,
I gotta get to class anyway, so.
That was helpful.
Give some of these a try and we'll come back and talk about where it's taking you from there. I think I wrote down and explained to you where we're going. I usually find that things fall into about 3 major categories for this class, and that is to evaluate the results of your projects, like the deliverables or the outcomes or the outputs of your projects. Also evaluate the process, how your project came to be, how your deliverables or your results came to be, and then the other area is your own personal learning and growth as a project manager. And I think you can experiment with a lot of different evaluation methods and tweak and adapt them for those 3 different zones of areas, and good things come out of that when you start to kind of mix and match all that stuff. See what it teaches you. Okay.
Thank you.
I've got 2 appointments right now. Around 4-ish. I'm going to go to the schedule from 4 to 5. He wants to know scripts. So I'm just going to okay. That should just shoot look at it. Okay. That's good. Good to see you, Fritz. Put yourself all back together there.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. How serious are we getting? Is this just a check-in, or is this like a final evaluation?
How about both?
Okay.
It's more of a check-in the sense of that I've been reading. I had to turn my library book back in because somebody had reserved it, so I couldn't renew it. So I only got through the How to Win Friends and Influence People. I only got through 3 chapters before I had to. They required me to give it back. So.
Staying power.
Yeah, I was
almost 100 years now.
I was surprised that someone had reserved it. I went to the library to renew it, and it said reserved. I'm like, oh well, that means I have to turn it back in. I can't renew it. Keep reading it. But other than that,
I found it for free online, or I've got an electronic version of it.
There's a PDF version of it.
It's been around long enough. So I've just been listening to it as I drive every now and then. I'll turn it on and listen to that one. It's been good.
My car, I don't have a place to plug in my phone, so
I usually don't
it's just
plug it
radio.
in. I just let the phone play it. That's just loud enough.
Gotcha.
I can still hear it. So. It works for when I'm alone. It doesn't work for everybody else in the car if you're trying to play something.
Other than that, I've been reading my other book, which is 12 Rules for Life. It's 12 Rules for Life: An Antidote to Chaos. It's all about. It's a book by a what's the term for someone who's not popular, but popular because they're a point of, like they say something that a group of people do not like, right? So they're they don't know, like, so the author's name is Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is quite a hot topic, especially in the political world.
Okay.
But he didn't mean to be. That's the best part. Is the reason he got. He was a Canadian university professor, and when Canada passed legislation that stated that it was required by law to use the preferred pronouns of an individual, in the sense that if you were to call a person by the pronoun that they do not affiliate with, you could be fined by the government. He went on to, he publicly stated that I do not agree with the government's decision to mandate speech. Right? And he would go on and say, if someone wants me to call them something, I'll call them whatever they want. Just I don't want the government. And because he said that, right, he got attacked. Woo! A lot. So anyway, he's a fantastic. I forgot what his profession is. Psychologist. He's a fantastic psychologist. In the book, he writes about how to take control of your life, and basically there's his 12 rules to have a very well managed, successful life.
Cool.
So I've started that one now that I got my other book taken away from me. It's been good.
I always find that I find a lot of value in comparing any method, model, system, advice, best practice, whatever you want to call it. I always like to compare what they offer with what the gospel offers.
Right. Yeah.
Because I oftentimes find that in doing so, it helps me see the whole spectrum more clearly. I see the gospel more clearly because I've challenged it somehow, or because I've tried to discriminate some of the teaching and get a little bit more fine-grained in understanding it.
Yeah.
And I find that the idea, that a lot of times I find that, that idea is good, but it's actually described better over here in the gospel somewhere.
Yeah,
very valuable.
I've only read the first few pages, but it's been interesting to see. He starts out the book talking about how, especially young men in today's world have a big issue with feeling attacked and having very low self-esteem. He quotes a lot of the problems that come with that. How apparently in today's social justice world that it's bad to be a man and it's bad to be masculine, right? Mm-hmm. And he through psychology backs up the sense that no, you're that way because you are a male. You have those things, and he talks about how it's a good read to to help, and the book isn't centered just towards men, but it's centered towards helping you get your life back in order if it's not, and how to improve that. But he just starts off with that example of how in today's world women are having a much harder time finding their place and feeling like they belong and are accepted than they used to be, and it's causing problems with mental health and whatnot. So it's very interesting. And then that's the introduction. And then now I'm in chapter 1. In chapter 1, I'm sure we'll start going into solutions. It'll be probably the first rule. I'm excited to get into that.
Interesting. Okay.
But my other projects that I'm working on, are doing really well. I have a bunch of projects, and I can talk just about the big ones. The one I work on at school, the project that I can actually show you everything. I can show you the whole 9 yards. Right?
Okay.
Go ahead, open an incognito tab. That way, passwords don't get saved, whatnot. And then it's tfs.byui.edu. You should have access to it because you're wired in. Yeah, then I'll have to type in. It'll be my stuff.
Oh, come on. I want it to be my stuff too.
Gotta talk to IT. I don't know, maybe they have something for the professors. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
And I'll just take all I need is the mouse. Let me pull up that project. There's the mouse. Let's go to boards, sprints, and let's see if it kept my settings saved. It
I
did.
just see some of this the other day when you were showing Brother Miller.
Yes. So this is where we keep our sprints. So over the last, I can show documentation over the last one easily. Over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this week and 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So sprint 1, we were able to finish quite a lot of stuff. We were
a lot in the done column.
Yes, but these tasks were very the effort value. Yeah, they
Reductive. Point story
that's
points.
we are. Yeah, so you can't do it once it's already done. But if you were to move this over to an in progress or to do, you can give it an effort value, which is the time in hours of how long said task will take, and you just give a guesstimate. So all these tasks were very small work, so I gave them 0.5. Right, they were a 0.5 effort value or half an hour, and we were able to do that. So the whole
Slytherins know how to get things done.
Yes, we do. Actually, we almost always complete our entire workload. We normally schedule ourselves about 40 hours. We're 3 part-time employees.
It's cool.
It is cool. It's cool to see, and it also gives you a nice sprint burn down to be able to see this week. Not a lot of work got done by other teams. Right? But if we were to go to sprint 2, more work got done. Right? You can see their line right here. They have an ideal trend. It's kind of nice to see.
So is the fact that it went up, is that an addition of scope?
Yes, so someone added something. If something went up, then someone added something after their planning meeting. To give a little context, this was the last few weeks we've been working on tests for this stuff. We've been writing a lot of comparison tests to test the keys and types of values that Canvas is sending us compared to the objects we have defined in our model. So we've been able to get all that done, and then the next week we finished that and we started running the tests and fixing the objects. And when we first ran our tests, since they were all done in a place that we liked, we were passing 19 of 72. 19 of our objects were matching what Canvas was sending us. And we built our objects around their documentation. So that means their documentation is wrong. So
It doesn't surprise me. It's very hard to get documentation
Yes.
match reality.
Oh yeah. So these tests are really nice for that, because we're able to generate a report of here's what they have, here's what we have,
This is
and
what
then
we can trust, and this is what we can't trust.
yes. So we were able to get the tests all the way up to passing, all the way up to 72 of 72 by the end of the week. Which is sprint 2, and then sprint 3, we've been working on creating looks like Katie hasn't finished yet. I don't know if she will, but it's all about moving the tests over to this super admin place that that IT is made for us so that we can run all the tests as super admins, and that way we get every single key in existence back. Because before we were just running it with our elevated student key, but we really needed a super admin key to verify that way if a super admin used our tool, it would give them all the keys back, right? And our model would reflect all the keys that are available. So it looks like we only have 4 more, so we're passing 68 of 72 tests right now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that's that. That's this project, and I have solid very nice documentation here because of this great
Nice work
thing.
plan.
The other.
This was in place before you guys started, but you've only been using it actively for 3 sprints now.
Yes.
When I say this, I mean the software.
Right.
So
So
the setup of the work and all that kind of thing.
about a month ago, the school only used Team Foundation Server, just TFS, just repositories. However, then they upgraded to Azure DevOps a few weeks ago, and we have actually more than a few weeks. I think it was a month ago, and the leads on our team. They have been doing a lot of research in how to use it, and they've been able to get it. Because for example, if I try to set a sprint time, so like sprint 4 and I just want to set data, so many data for instance, I don't have permission and other people do and whatnot. But we've been able to work together and find out a really good way to document things. Like for example, when someone completes an item, you can link it to the commit, right? And you can actually see the code that changed.
Awesome.
Right?
That's so nice.
Yes, it is. So you have proof. I said I finished it. Here's the proof, right? Here's what I removed and added and whatnot. I have to figure out how to go back. But yeah, before this we did not have a set in stone. What's the word? Management
Workflow.
development methodology. Workflow structure. It was more of come to work and we do these things called 3 Ps: progress. What are your plans? What is your progress? And what are your there's one more of the problems, right? So it's
daily stand-up format.
Yes, we can't do a daily stand-up because we're all part-time. We're going to come in during different times of the day. So we just put it in a Slack channel, and then it's like our stand-up day.
Cool.
It doesn't work as good though. Nowhere near.
Just to keep some coordination going.
Yeah. So that was about it. Now we have that as our daily stand-up, and now we actually have technology in place that's tracking everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice. Azure DevOps tracks all our sprints and all our work. And it's actually I think it has made a humongous difference in the productivity of our team.
Cool.
Because now you're held accountable. Right, and it's really nice. Like it's really rewarding to be able to move something over to done and attach your commit to it. Like it's like, yes, I did it.
I really did it.
It's been.
I passed all my tests. I really did it.
It's been quite awesome to actually have this piece of technology along with it. It's definitely made us more productive, and it's made us be more. We're able to see what work still needs to be done. Like for example, if John. There's only 3 of us on our sprint team.
Okay.
So me, Kaylee, and John. So let's say John comes into work. He could go down here and help Kaylee, even though I'm over this backlog item. I didn't put that there. Aggregate fin point. I didn't put that there either. Okay, whatever. Someone else must have moved it over. Or one of my leads, maybe he wants me to do something next week. But this week.
Okay.
But so that's this project. That's definitely project 1 that gets a big chunk of my hours.
So those yellow ones are tasks. What are
Yes.
the blue ones?
The blue ones are backlog items. Here, there's an even nicer place to go this. If I go to backlogs, the way they have it structured in Azure DevOps is they have epics, which you think of your product, right? What is the whole thing? So my project that I'm in charge of is the Canvas API wrapper, and then related work. Then each epic has features. So feature authentication. And normally these are all nouns. right? So you have testing, documentation, business logic, build and publish, and authentication of some of these. So right now we're working on testing. So then a feature has backlog items. The backlog items then have tasks, right? And the tasks are verbs. And then everything else are nouns normally.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is how Azure DevOps sets up a Scrum Agile. You can actually choose which one you want. You can just choose Agile. If you just choose Agile instead of backlog items, you get user stories.
Okay.
And it's actually, it's my way.
3:30. Sam, your table skiffies.
Yeah.
Shows up. So
Okay. I guess we're running out of time. But I guess, and then, so that's one project. This is and then the other things I am working on that's huge. I've been working. My classes in general have been projects of their own, and I've been doing really well in the classes I'm in. So, for example, CS 470, the computer security class for CS department, I'm doing really well. I've maintained an A the entire time. So
awesome.
And then I've been working in my other class, my Web Engineering 2 class. This is where I've kind of gone crazy because I don't know if anything's there. Probably. Let's see if I can type it in. I'm making an app called Doggo. Let's see if this gets us. It's not private, so. Well, it should be HTTPS. See, I probably spelled something wrong.
Did you do HTTPS in Bravo?
Yeah. This is worth looking at. The client is next week. I'm working on the, let's see.
My daughter loves to call our dog Doggo.
Yes, so the point of the app is to give you HerokuApp.com. That's what I got app from. Okay, it's Cajun. Yes, so I've made I'm making a full stack application called Doggo.
Okay.
And this week I've been focusing really hard on the back end and getting it all working in. I've made REST APIs before, but I've never been able to develop a authentication service around it using API keys or something. This time I was able to do that with the database and everything by generating an API key, and then giving it to you and then storing a hashed version of it in the database. So, for example, if I go here and you try to get a user 1 out of the database, you'll get variable 403. But if you were to click one of these locks or authorize up here and give a valid API token, it would give you the data back. And you can generate those. You can actually generate API keys if you are logged in to the client, which I'll eventually make. Right, so if you're logged in, then you can use your login cookie to be able to authenticate and make an API token if you wanted to. So
that's cool.
That was really cool. And then this is going along really well. And I've got some this was automated. This is automatic documentation. It's generated at runtime.
This is showing pretty clearly the products,
right?
The results of your projects.
Yes. So
there's somewhat of the process, in your workload. You can see the process pretty well.
Right. These I don't have a way to see the process of these ones like the other.
The last part of that is I usually like to ask you about how are you growing as a project manager? How are you able to track and monitor that?
So it's growing as a project manager. I feel like if I compare myself to day one to now, I've definitely been able to manage my time or prioritize, that's a better word, prioritize my time way better. And that's
discussion is very relevant to where you've been.
yes, and that's, I think, the way, I think I haven't really been tracking my time. I probably could be better at that. I don't like it. I don't really like tracking my every hour, everything that I do.
I don't like to either because it tells me stuff I don't want to know.
Yeah. I think what would be really nice would be to have one of those. I think what I do like when it comes to tracking is that sprint board, to be able to just have tasks and just be able to move them over, but not have you like from 9 to 3 o'clock. I did this, and this. I find that takes more time and energy than to actually do the thing I want to do. But this semester I've definitely I am wasting a lot less time. I am doing my homework. Like for this assignment, this is like 500% above and beyond. No,
That's awesome.
right. It's one of those things where because I manage my time better, and every day I work on homework for X amount of hours, or I do a feature until it's done, and then then I go do my personal things that I like to do. I've been able to maintain a 100% in my CS313 class. I have yet to get a grade lower than that. I've never done that in a college class before. Yeah, so it's blown my mind. And it's because I've been able to be more honest with myself and actually put homework first, always, and then do it. But
it's going to make work so much easier for you. You won't be chafing at the fact that you're there as much time as you are.
And so if I could get a sprint board out for this, but then I have to integrate it with Azure DevOps, and it's a lot of work. It's Heroku, because I have to do it in class. It's a nightmare. So I think I've definitely become a better project manager.
You're supposed to have integrations already built for a lot of different.
They do, but they just cost money.
Yeah. Okay.
To be able to host this stuff on Azure, it costs money. Other than that, if it was free like Heroku is,
I think there's tie-ins where you can do that.
Oh, right. So like you would send it to Azure, and then Heroku could tie in with that. Maybe if I could figure it out.
Because we were looking into that, we found that we could do on-premise stuff that way. So we own the servers.
Yeah, I bet they're probably.
I'm pretty sure you could.
That would be nice. Then I could actually track my work in a nice environment. That's what's there for my final. That's all. That's what I've got up to now.
Awesome. So I'd be interested to get a little bit more detail in your quality management and evaluation patterns.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially on the evaluating your own personal growth. So far, it sounds self-assessment oriented, and that is very good.
Right. It's all self-assessment. Other than that,
I also want you to look at ways to cross-validate your self-evaluation with additional levels and layers and perspectives on it.
And what would be a few ways to do that?
360-degree review is one.
Okay.
I'm a fan of that one. It means that you're trying to get other people's perspectives on your work.
Okay.
And as many different stakeholder groups as you have that are involved with and affected by.
So just ask other people that also have a significance to that project. Okay. Yeah, I could do that for sure.
It gets you closer to what just for that sets as their target the delighted customers, delighted stakeholders. Right. You don't know if you don't ask. And when you start to do that, you'll find that done has a different definition for a lot of different groups. But it also helps you understand the gradation and quality of it. You start to capture this and cross-evaluate what's really important to who and why.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do
that's one pattern. If you do, if you go to the CIT 380 evaluation methods, that gives you some ideas.
Yeah.
I don't put that out there saying you have to use these. I put it out there to say, here's stuff that other people have tried that they found useful. You're open to try whatever you want.
Okay.
But unless, that's why I usually start with those three main patterns. Your project deliverables or outputs,
Right.
your processes, and your personal growth and learning. I like to relate that to the other layers of your dependent mode learning, your independent modes of learning, your interdependent modes of learning, how all those things tie together into layers that give you a pretty complete picture.
Yeah, so right now I've got is a self-evaluation, but I don't have any other source than that. I'm able to look at myself and say, wow,